This morning, CBS News projects that President-elect Biden has captured 279 electoral votes. That's compared with 214 for President Trump. CBS News has not projected a winner yet in Alaska, Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina. President Trump has not conceded this race. Joining us is CBS News political analyst Reince Priebus, Mr. Trump's first White House chief of staff. He has advised the president on his legal challenges to the vote count. Reince, it's really good to have you here on this Monday. Let's start with the president has filed several lawsuits. Good to see you. He's filed several lawsuits, but the bottom line is there still is no clear path for him to get that magic number of 270. So what is the goal here?
Well, Gail, thank you for having me. Hope you're doing well. The first thing is what the legal challenges are going to be generally doesn't come until a recount in a particular state starts. And I won't bore everyone to tears on this, but here's how it works. The first step in every state that's this close is that they do a canvass. That means they check the machines, they check the count, they make sure things aren't inverted. In other words, the totals for Biden were reported right and the totals for Trump were reported right. Then after the canvass, in most states, and every state's different, the campaign has 24 hours to request a recount. Then the recount starts. Once the recount starts, that's generally when lawsuits are filed. Now, there's some exceptions to that, but that's when lawsuits are filed. And then the courts hear those suits, and they determine whether or not it's true there was something or there were ballots that either need to be eliminated or blind ballots are pulled out of particular precincts, and then the counting begins. And when that's done, probably the first week of December, at that point, the actual official certifications take place. And I think at that point, Gail, now whether if the president can't turn it around after that, then I do think you're going to see more of a normal transition.
More of a conciliatory tone. But listen, Chris Christie over the weekend.
I think so.
President Trump keeps saying there's fraud. He implies that there's something nefarious, but has not presented any evidence. And Chris Christie said, look, if you've got the evidence, then just present it. In the meantime, people are getting all ginned up about this.
Right. Well, I mean, people are getting ginned up about it. It was a hot election. But I do think in Pennsylvania, some of the folks have said they may have an equal protection claim, meaning there were many ballots that came after the deadline. That may be a case. You know, the Supreme Court ruled told Pennsylvania to segregate those ballots. There's a signature issue. Look, I don't know how significant some of that is. I'm not doing the legal work in a lot of these states, but I can just tell you that it's normal for a canvass to take place. It's normal for a recount to take place. Hillary Clinton had 4 recounts 4 years ago. And I just think the Trump campaign isn't going to do anything as far as making statements, congratulatory statements until that's over.
Right. In the meantime, on 60 Minutes last night, a Republican Philadelphia city commissioner said their office was getting death threats, because the rhetoric has been so hot. I mean, do you think the rhetoric is contributing to this?
Well, I don't know if the rhetoric is hot or people are hot. Certainly that's unacceptable. And, I would never, none of us, who would condone garbage like that? Nobody would. But I do think as far as people that are excited about President Biden potentially being sworn into office, people who are happy about that, I just think they need to wait a couple more weeks so that this process takes place. And I think that once that happens, if President Trump is not successful, then I think you're going to see, more of a transition that we're used to. But until then, I don't think that's going to happen.
All right. I mean, we do have former Republican President George W. Bush congratulating Joe Biden and calling the election fundamentally fair.
And maybe he's right, but I think that until the recount takes place and until all these challenges are heard, at that point, I think maybe you're going to hear more of that. But until that happens, you're not going to hear it.
All right, Reince Priebus, thanks for being with us this morning.